Hi all, Rex King here again. I thought it would be good to do a follow-up video from the last one, which I spoke about John 1:1. And so I've called this one John 1:1 Revisited. And I thought an illustration would help a person, especially one of Jehovah's Witnesses, to understand the misguided concept that they have in their view of the scripture, John 1:1. In fact, it gives them the actual opposite of what they intend, because exactly what they say they are, they deny by means of this scripture. You'll see it clearly when by the time I'm finished. Which way is it? Which way is it is the question. And there's two possible ways, okay? Benjamin Wilson's way that he expounded in his diaglot when he wrote it, this Bible scholar who wrote the Greek Bible diaglot. This is his view of God right here. God is like a bubble. This is a bubble right here, the largest bubble. And inside of that bubble is Jesus. Jesus is this bubble right here. So a bubble in a bubble, and that's Jesus. And according to what Jehovah's Witnesses teach, is Jesus was the first creation of all things, and everything came into existence through Jesus. And so everything is inside of Jesus. So there's God, there's Jesus, and then there's all in Jesus, which includes us, okay? This is Benjamin Wilson's view of God according to the way he translated John 1:1, okay? This is his view. God is the biggest bubble, Jesus is the next bubble, and inside of Jesus is everything else, okay? Now, the viewpoint that Jehovah's Witnesses have taken with regard a God view, same scripture, but they want to insert this a God, this is what happens. God the all, JW's view, is a bubble, okay? And then Jesus is a God next to that bubble. So Jesus is another bubble, okay? And of course, Jesus is, all things are in Jesus, and of course, Jehovah's Witnesses believe that. So all things are in Jesus, okay? So there's God, Jesus, everything in Jesus, but but there's another part to this. According to Jehovah's Witnesses, there's a Satan, the devil. Where does he go? The devil can't be in Jesus, and he can't be in God, so where is he? Now, God is all, God is everything, so what's left? Nothing. And so basically, this view of God, when you say Jesus was a God, now you're saying there's more than one God. So now we've got multiple gods. Multiple gods. But Jehovah's Witnesses know for a fact there's only one true God. That's Benjamin Wilson's God, the only one true God. The multiple God version of John 1:1 is the version that Jehovah's Witnesses peddle, and they don't realize it. It's the exact opposite of what they think they're doing. They're saying Jehovah isn't the only true God, that there's another God named Jesus that Jehovah created, and everything is in Jesus except for somehow there's a Satan, the devil, that's another child that God created other than Jesus, that's the opposite of Jesus. And he's fighting Jesus. Can you see the problem that you've created by creating an A and not listening to a Bible scholar with regard to the interpretation of the scripture? You've actually made God a multi-God. Whereas this way, there's only one life. There's only one God. God created all things out of nothing. What? His own existence, his own substance. So this bubble is the substance of God, is the spirit that creates all things, the energy of life, life itself. That's this bubble. And everything has to be inside of that bubble because God is all. And inside of that bubble, the first thing God created was Jesus. A reflective consciousness. And in Jesus, every other reflective consciousness that exists. That is the meaning of John 1:1. We're at 5.5 minutes. I don't see any reason to continue this. Now I think hopefully Jehovah's Witnesses will begin to recognize how foolish their thinking has been. And when I say how ignorant they've been and how silly they've been and how ridiculous they really are, basically not even understanding the meaning behind their basic teaching, that is the opposite of what they say. I mean, hopefully this isn't intended on purpose, to cause confusion, to control and manipulate. Hopefully it's just pure ignorance. And that's what I believe. And if that's true, then it's time for these brothers to come to their senses. I'd like to add one more point, and then I'm going to conclude this. And this is from the Jerusalem Bible. And I was reading the scripture about Jesus teaches in Capernaum and cures a demonic. It says, he went down to Capernaum, talking about Jesus, a town in Galilee, and taught them on the Sabbath. And his teaching made a deep impression on them because he spoke with authority. In the synagogue, there was a man who was possessed by the spirit of an unclean devil, and it shouted at the top of its voice, "Ah, what do you want with us, Jesus of Nazareth? Have you come to destroy us? I know who you are, the Holy One of God." But Jesus said sharply, "Be quiet, come out of him." And the devil, throwing the man down in front of everyone, went out of him without hurting him at all. Astonishment seized them, and they were all saying to one another, "What teaching! He gives orders to unclean spirits with authority and power, and they come out." And reports of him went all through the surrounding countryside. So here Jesus went to the synagogue and he cast out a demon from this person to where this person was healed. How could Jesus possibly do that? How could Jesus possibly cast out a demon from somebody in a synagogue, this demon that knew who he was and was afraid that he would be destroyed? Now, the demon was afraid that he would be destroyed, come to destroy us, okay, a demon. So Jesus has the power to destroy a demon, okay, isn't that pretty interesting? We have the power over ourselves to destroy a bad thought, an idea that isn't real. What Jesus did back then is he basically, by getting rid of demons, as he was dispelling false teaching, is what the analogy is today. He was dispelling false teaching. He was destroying ignorance. And that's what I'm doing today as a man of Christ, speaking with authority. This is not the way to look at God if you believe in only one true God, only one life that created all things. This is the proper way to look at it. And once you realize this, you begin to realize that if Jesus had the power to overthrow a demon, that it has to be this way. Because if it's this way, how could Jesus have power to overthrow a demon? Something under Satan's control. No way. It has to be this way. The only way Jesus would have power over these false conceptions, the ignorance, so that a person can expand their mind, their bubble, and become more like Christ, closer to God. Anyway, I'm going to conclude this. We're almost at 10 minutes. Hopefully this has been very informative and insightful for people that want to know what truth really is. Thank you.